Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a minute. We welcome you again to Tiedero. Good vibes, educational discussions. We look into matters affecting youth, matters affecting society in general. How can we have a discussion to make these things better? As we say in our Luo dialect, weche piny, bura oloyo. What this means, as I will translate, it says that where there are issues or where there are matters that are not auguring well, when we have a sit down, things definitely will work out. We'll definitely have a solution. Again, welcome to Tiedero, ladies and gentlemen. And with me today is a nice, good gentleman. Welcome to Tiedero.
Thank you so much.
Perhaps you should tell our viewers, who do we have today?
My name is Otieno CJ. For those who don't know me, I'm the Assistant Director of Film Services Kenya.
You work under the Ministry of?
I work under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Creative Economy.
Yes.
State Department of Youth and Creative Economy.
Your boss is Salim Vuria.
Salim Vuria is the CS and my PS is Fikirini Jacobs.
Under Ministry of Sports, they have how many PS?
2.
Oh, 2.
Yeah, 2.
If you can you expound so that guys will know why 2?
Yeah, there's one PS in charge of sports, so it's dealing with the sports activities across the nation. And then Fikirini Jacobs, who is now my boss, he deals with the youth programs and creative economy.
Yes.
Yes. So under the creative economy, it has got both youthful aspect and the now experience and advanced aspect.
Yeah.
So it's about about using creativity to earn a living.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
The more reason why we say today we must have a CJ with us today. He'll try and tell us more. What does the Ministry of Youth in terms of sports, in terms of film and production, what are the policies do they have for us? This market is big. It's growing, it's expanding. So, like I said, let's hear from the expert. Let him tell us what the government has in store for us. And from here, we'll have a discussion and see where will this industry fall? How will it grow? Will we make it better? Will it expand? And how can even government benefit from it so that they can also put in policies that can enable this industry to be better and bigger? Thank you very much, Jez.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I just want to concentrate first on the State Department of the Youth and Creative Economy. We'll talk sports later because that one is far from our State Department. Second, I'll just talk of few things concerning this youth, but mostly I'll concentrate on the film where I serve as the Assistant Director.
Yes.
So under the State Department of Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, we have got different programs that you mentioned the President talk about each and every day. There's a very big project coming up. As it has already been launched, people have done application for it. There's a Nyota program under the State Department of Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. So this Nyota program, it has got 2 areas in capacity building to the youths. The first one is giving money to start small-scale businesses. The other one is about training and capacity building of youths, gaining skills. So this Nyota, the way it has been designed, a youth who is below 35 years of age decides to apply either one of the 2. You want 50,000 for the small-scale startup capital, or you want to advance your skills. So under the advancement of skills, there are various areas that one can advance their skills from. There's this filming, there's photography in it, there's hairdressing in it, there's tailoring in it. So what you have to do, you have to go at the sub-county level to the youth office there. You go get a form, you fill the form, you wait. Or you can dial star 254 #, that's the hashtag. There's those options.
Can you repeat star?
254 #.
*254#.
Yes.
What this will give direct?
There's a code for government services.
Yes.
So under the code for the government, all government services online, through the SSD, you're going to see the Nyota program. So you follow that Nyota program and register.
Okay.
So this is a funded project between the Kenyan government and the World Bank, and it's done in phases. It is a 5-year project. This is the second phase. There's one that came earlier before, around during Uhuru's time. It was called
Under
KAYOP.
the administration of Uhuru Kenyatta.
President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was called KAYOP.
Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry for this. Before we indulge further, maybe you don't forget this as you discuss through. You should tell Kenyans eligibility. What will it take to be enrolled in such kind of program? I just want you to, as you give out this information, by the time you're living here, at least 1 or 2 people will be aware of the Nyota program. They'll be aware that if I'm interested in doing this, this is how I can go about it. So proceed.
The only qualification is being a youth. Yeah, it's only the age below 35, and you have ID from 18 to 35. That's the only qualification. You can access the SSD code, or you can visit the youth office, or you can access the account, the Nyota social pages. They have got a social page. You can access the same through the State Department, State Department social media accounts. That is the State Department of Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. You are going to get information that's going to help you register. So it is done across the nation.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're in Migori, you're in Turkana, you're in Kakamega, Garissa, anywhere, you can access those services.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Proceed.
So now on film that I want to major in, generally, if people talk of creative economy, some will ask himself or herself, what is this creative economy? Maybe they just heard the president talking about creative economy. What is creative economy? So mostly creative economy is monetizing your skills. How can you use your skills to get money? So you see? So mostly it's about talents and how talents pays. So under the creative economy, we have got different genres or areas that one can advance.
Yes.
You can advance in technology. You can advance in creativity, where under creativity, you can advance in film production. You can advance in music. So under music alone, you can be an artist, you can be a producer, you can be a songwriter. That is creative economy.
Yes.
Under film, you can be a photographer, you can be a videographer, you can be a video editor, you can be a producer, you can be a story writer. You see?
So these are beautiful things. Perhaps you need to tell us in maybe details, perhaps, how does the government, because I look at this industry, the film industry and the creative industry as you've put it, a lot of people are crafting their ways on their own. And we must give credit to the youth that they've really crafted this by themselves. Maybe it's time you tell us, where is the government coming in terms of policies, in terms of regulations, in terms of ensuring that the market is properly tapped, regulated, and in turn everybody gets what they deserve. Maybe you could highlight a little or go deep if you may.
First and foremost, as a government, we are so much happy that at least youths are creating jobs for themselves through the creative economy. So we encourage them. So first and foremost, the first role of the government into this is to ensure that these youths got or get serious trainings. The first policy of the government to ensure that these people get skills, enough skills to enhance them in their respective field. That's why through this Nyota program, if you want to advance your skills in photography or video, the government is paying someone to train you into that field, so that when you grow into the industry, you have enough skills. The government is ensuring that there are fundings. Through even the Nyota program, there's some amount there that can be given to start up as startup capital. However much lately it might be, but there's startup capital. Startups are never always enough.
Yes.
but at least they're startup.
Yes.
So through the training also, through the Department of Film, we have established Kenya Academy of Film. Kenya Academy of Film is at Kasarani Stadium currently. So the academy is training youths, and the only qualification is having an ID and a Form 4 certificate, or even no Form 4 certificate. As long as you have the skill, they can nurture you. They can train you to be a good photographer. You don't need to have a degree to be a photographer. You don't need to have a diploma for you to be a good videographer. Are you seeing?
Yes.
But these are skills that can be trained. Being artistic, photography is all about creativity.
True.
So through the Film Academy, there, people are trained into their various field.
Do you on the training aspect good enough? After training them, what do you offer? You offer certificates that will
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Still on the training, we have got also we are also developing film incubators. There's already one done in Uriri, Siaya. In Uriri, is only waiting for launching.
Maybe for some of us who don't understand what a film incubator is.
Yeah, so through the Kenya Film Commission, which is also mandated, I will talk about all of those commissions, I'll explain further. They are mandated to do marketing for film. That's their core function, both locally and internationally. There should be the link between foreign filmmakers and local filmmakers. They should be able to ensure that films that are made in Kenya, produced in Kenya, are played in international theaters. So that's their mandate. So an incubator is a film center. We're developing film centers like studios.
Yes.
Studio, if I talk of a studio is a small setup.
Yes.
But incubator is a complex of studio. You'll have photography, you'll have theater, you'll have recording section, training section. It has got all the components of production.
So the government is putting, this is new. Has it been here before?
Yes, it's been there before. There's already done in Siaya. There's one in Uriri, done already. So just waiting for equipping. So this is a program that's ongoing.
So is it going to be rolled all over the nation?
It's going to be rolled all over the nation.
Is there any that is fully functional that
the Siaya one is functioning?
Fully functional?
Yes.
That we can have an idea what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you go to the page of Kenya Film Commission, even right now, as we speak, you are going to see activities that are going on in that incubator. So it's about training.
Is it the Pioneer or the one in Siaya?
No, there are several. So I cannot just mention I can't be exact which ones.
Okay.
But I can talk of the two.
Fair enough. Okay.
Because one, I know is functioning, and one from my background, I know is almost starting.
Okay.
The construction is all over.
Okay.
Is over. So that's about training. The other aspect where the government comes in is about regulations. Because if all these things are not regulated, we can end up getting content. You can end up getting...
Instead of shaping the society, you'll end up distorting it more.
Yeah, distorting the society.
Yes.
Yeah, so through that, we have got Film Classification Board, Kenya Film Classification Board, which is mandated to do the regulations. So the regulation starts from licensing, on the content also, the content that to produce, the parental guide. They have got 3 categories of guides. So they control the content that goes to the outlet, to what we consume.
Yes.
They regulate. So that's the role of the government.
Yes.
Government also does the marketing that I mentioned earlier through the Film Commission.
Yes.
They do the marketing.
Yes.
So it's also another role of the government is to develop policies that regulates all this film and creative activity across the country. Now, currently,
yes,
as I mentioned, currently there's a bill in Parliament. I think it's in the 3rd stage of reading, sponsored by Migori County Senator on creative economy. That's creative economy bill.
Migori County Senator Eddie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sponsored the bill on creative economy. So I think they're going to take it to public participation. So Kenyans are going to interact with it at that particular stage. There's also Kenya film policy that's also coming up very soon.
Yes.
Kenyans are going to interact with that particular policy on film.
Yes.
The one sponsored by the senator is about the creative industry
At large.
at large.
Yes.
Yeah, I've interacted with it. I see that they're trying to come up with a board,
Okay.
a Kenya Creative Economy Board,
Okay.
where they want representative across each and every sector of the creative economy to be members of the board.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a very good bill. I've seen it. You can also download it from the parliamentary website. It's also on the Parliament website.
I'll do check it.
Yeah, you can check it so that you can have a copy and enlighten the citizens more
Yes.
about it.
Yes. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yes.
Yes. Now, now that you've mentioned this aspect of regulation, I wanted us to come here. I've noticed that even Facebook will be part of the broader view of what your ministry is standing in for. The social corridors, that will be Facebook, the Twitters of this world, the TikToks of this world, and YouTubes of this world. I've noticed that what we consume, especially, let me use an example as Facebook. I've not seen a regulatory outfit where you can have, let's say, Facebook of people between, let's say, 7 years to, let's say, 10 years. That you say this is Facebook for below 12 years. This is Facebook for below 17 years, let's say 12 to 17. And then another one between 19, let's say, to 32 or 35 for that matter. Now, do you think things like this should be a concern of the government, and they need to think through that, yes, we have a society and the society has to be protected. If we are giving them something to consume, we ought to look into such nitty-gritty. Do you think this should be a concern of the government, and what are they doing if it's a concern?
There's a very big concern of the government because you've also had cases of misuse of social media. And currently, you know, the debate that is ongoing in the nation currently is all about the use of social media. So
Yes,
social
this
media,
after the unfortunate
Yeah.
demise of the young man.
young man, may his
Which,
soul-
by the way, at Tiedero, we must say we condemn, and we condemn, and we condemn. That was bad.
may his soul rest in peace.
Thank you.
So that is one of the reasons why the government should be much concerned about social media. If you look at YouTube for the kids as a case study, don't use that as a case study. It is designed in a way that the content that you can see is based on the age. If you log in, you ask, what is the child? Are you a parent or you are a child? If you are a child, if you are a parent, your child is, what is the age of a child? 10, 4. After mentioning, the content that that child will be able to see are the content based on his age limit. All the contents are on the YouTube platform, but what will come across is account is based on this age. The same thing can also be used on social media, because kids today use social media. They access social media. As part of creativity, we should encourage kids as early as 10. They should be singing. They should have YouTube accounts. They should start contributing to this creative economy. They should developing their talents. We should not wait until they get 50 or even 30 to decide on the talent that they want. No. Through the CBC, formal education project,
Yes.
you see these kids, as they grow, they start developing their skills.
Yes.
So we should even have schools, school of fine arts, as early as primary. But where do they market their content? Is YouTube. There's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So this social media should be regulated just the same way YouTube is regulated for the kids, so that if the content produced are for kids of 10 years and that child is 10 years, that particular account will only be accessible, will only access the content based on that.
The algorithm will put him just within the age bracket.
Age bracket. So you can have different categories based on the public participation that will come out. You can group them even children between 5 to 10, 10 to 17, and then after that there's this junior adult that is from 18 to 25.
Okay.
You can have 30 to 40, 40.
Depending on what will make sense to our society.
Yeah, will make sense to our society.
Yes.
Based on public participation.
Yes.
But we need a regulation so that whatever you see is not what I see. We're on the same Facebook page. Facebook. Are you seeing?
Yes, I'm getting
Whatever you see is based on your age. Even the friend request that you can receive, the account that you can access should be.
Well, just still on regulation, and I like the way you've put in your weight, or rather given a synopsis on what the government is keen into. Fair enough. I want to put this out there. Maybe I don't know, for your portfolio, but what do you think the government can do to ensure that the social platforms that we have does not do more good, does not do more harm than good to the society? In that, I've realized that today the social corridors, people are even getting scared to post something because it will later lead on to something bad happening to you. So the law, I'm told, is supposed to protect even you and the other person, okay? What should be the right procedure, according to you, on how we can curb this kind of atrocities that emanates as someone taking their phone and post something? Can there be a measure where even if you post something, it can be blocked? It doesn't go to the general domain. If it will be probably bad to the general domain and to you as an individual, have you guys probably thought through such kind of scenarios?
You see, social media regulation has been a big challenge. But let's start from change of norms and culture. Why do you want to abuse your elder? You take your social media account and abuse those in authority. An elder. Let's leave about being in authority. Your elder. Unless someone who's older or old enough to be even your father. Would you want also to be abused?
No.
How do you feel if you abuse someone's father or someone's mother?
They say you treat people the same way you'll wish them to treat you.
So there's one lecturer once told us you should make laws that will be best for you in the worst hands of your enemy. Make
laws that are best for you in the worst hands of your enemy. A very nice insight, yes.
Yes. So post something that if someone posts about you, you will be happy and laugh about it. But if
you can equally consume it.
You can equally consume it. So let's start from there. Let the discussion start from there. There's this culture change where I just wake up in the morning, abuse everybody, I do this. So if the government tell me, no, that thing is bad, I see. So let's start from educating the users.
Okay.
Respecting. Because even if you put regulations, but can we enforce those regulations? Yes or no? But if we can change culture, society will change.
Can we use the social media corridors to change the culture?
Yes, it's possible.
How can we do it?
Like now, you find most injustices being agitated in Kenya are fought through social media. Like now, the case of the little Juang, it's through social media that we saw and even advocated for the justice to be done. Social media. Why can't we use the same platform to eradicate the bad behaviors in the social media? It is possible. Who says that it is impossible? It is possible. Children go to school when they don't know anything, but they get out of school when they know something. This social media, we were born when we don't know even how to use it. Today we have gurus.
Yeah, today you can navigate
they're called influencers. Bloggers, influencers.
And bloggers.
Yes.
You're mentioning bloggers at a very bad time, and you know your portfolio doesn't allow us to discuss some things.
No. Someone is a blogger. It's not that Kenyans perceive blogging as a negative thing. It means you own your own blog post. You have your own website that you can show your content. People can read your content. So there are Facebook users and there are bloggers. So the Facebook users are calling themselves bloggers. Well, in real sense, they're not bloggers.
They're users.
Are you seeing the difference?
I'm
So
trying to.
them and me and you, we are Facebook users. So for those who want blog post, something like a website, neatly written content that has a date, people can read, people can have reference, they own a blog post. Those are the word blogging comes from a blog post. Are you seeing? So bloggers are not bad. It is a profession. So those Facebook users are the ones calling themselves bloggers.
Are you encouraging that people need to blog more?
Yes.
And now that you've mentioned this, will this kill the mainstream media?
Mainstream media.
Yes.
Today, mainstream media is struggling. That's why you find big media stations scaling down on manpower. That's why big medias today they struggle even to pay their salaries. Even the marketing trends have changed. When last did you go and buy a physical newspaper like this?
Majorly we read online.
You read online. So whatever will be on newspaper tomorrow, in the morning for you to buy, you read it at night through your social media. Why do you need the newspaper, that copy newspaper?
Now, as a government, will this translate to diminishing opportunities or expanding opportunities? If at all you're saying that with the blogging around, with the Facebook opinion shapers around, the Twitter opinion shapers around, are you saying that the mainstream media eventually will come to its definite demise? And if that happens,
No.
if that happens, just a minute, if that happens, will that mean that instead of the industry growing, it's diminishing? I mean, what does all this mean? Maybe you can expand further, whether it's a good thing in disguise or a bad thing in disguise, or what this can mean if properly done right. It will mean the mainstream media will just be here to stay. And of course, these other small gentlemen will also have their different opportunities, and all of us will have a piece of the cake. What will be...
let me just explain something. There's this notion of mainstream media. There's nothing like mainstream media. It is just an umbrella of big companies in the field. We have got three forms of media: electronics media, print media, and social media. So the ones that call themselves mainstream media, they should also advance in technology. They can now advance into social media. That's why they have got e-newspaper, e-paper.
Yes.
That's why they have got live streaming. They live stream their news.
Yes.
People no longer sit in TV to watch news at 7 p.m. They stream through the phone. They should work on research. They should invest in research to advance in technology, so that they should keep their listeners and viewers at bay. They should compete with the social media. So they still hold the credibility. That's why when you see a news in social media, you want to go and check if that news is appearing in NTV social media handle. Is it appearing in KTN social handle? If yes, you see now there is more credible. Because the one posting it in social media has got no credibility. You doubt the credibility. So the credibility aspect of the media, of the news, is what the mainstream media, as they call themselves, should use to advance themselves in technology and compete with others. Today, I find an accident scene happening. I take a live stream of what is happening, post on my social media handle. Kenyans across the nation through the internet, all over the worldwide, people can view what I've seen. Well, the mainstream media, it has to come from the field, go to the news editor, edit it, prepare for the news at 1 p.m. or breaking news at 7 p.m. Are you seeing? So time as will already have elapsed. So they should also move with the advancement in technology.
You know, the reason why these structures are in place, CJ, is so that at the end of the day, somebody must be accountable. If we have everybody posting anything and everything, I think that will be detrimental, don't you think so?
That's why I've mentioned the credibility part, the accountability part. They should now advance that and stay in the market in technology. And one way that they can advance and maintain the technology is bringing their content closer to the people. They should do the research that now, why would I want to maintain my viewing through KTN Facebook page and not TV? They ask me. I give them my reasons. Maybe I can access it through through my phone. I can access it anywhere, from my office, from my bed. You see, now the advance in technology. Thus, any organization must invest in research
and development.
Because this technology changes each and every day. During our time, when we were growing, me and you know very well, simu ya jamii came when we were growing up. You remember simu ya jamii?
I do.
Before simu ya jamii, there were telephone booth.
Yes.
So telephone booth
the
line was replaced by
simu ya
jamii.
The mobile network now.
Yes. And then now the handset came.
Yes.
The handset came, the Motorola ones, those big ones. Today,
Sony Ericsson.
One line was 1,000.
No, actually, the first people who ever bought a line.
Yes.
You know, this is the time that it's interesting how telecommunication grew in this country. The first actually strong network in this country was Airtel. When it came back then, it should be Kcell, right? And then their marketing strategy flipped terribly. You know, this is how you know how some manager somewhere was better than the other. So for them, they came with the 20-80 rule. Then Safaricom came with 80-20 rule. Get 80% of your revenue from 20% of the population, or get 80% of your revenue from 20% of the population of the nation, depending on how you look at it. A similar thing was done by Equity.
Yes.
And that's how they agree. Now, on that note, and you don't forget your point. Don't you think, if you remember from all those time and all this has been growing up until now, and just as you proceed with your point and you make sure you answer the question whether government is working towards making sure the industry expands or it diminishes. Now, don't you think from all that time until now, and the government is coming to realize all this now, that is when you need to work around the clock to shape up all this? Is it a little too soon, too late, or too late, too soon? Either way, proceed with your point.
No, there's nothing late for the government. First of all, government has got no hurry. That's why the policies of the government are procedures. Government is a government of procedures. You follow procedure and follow the law. Like if I'm to send a letter to Migori, for example, I will send that letter physically. I might have your phone number, I can have your email address, but I will have to follow the procedure. So procedures, there's no shortcut for
Bureaucracy.
it. Yes. So what I was explaining was about the technology.
Yes.
You see, Safaricom, they majored on M-Pesa and removed Kcell, Airtel out of market. Today, what can happen if now NTV or even KTN come up with the social media, not a social media, a type of social media, yes, like Facebook, for news across the country, where you can open account with the KTN, whatever whatever you see or whatever the news you have, you post it there and you are paid if it is credible, and people across the nation can access it. What stops them?
Don't you think that will kill the numerous journalists that they've employed to go around looking for this news?
Who is a journalist? Someone trained to gather news. Sindio? But now this is also a new trend. The journalists will be part of the people who will be sending the news there. But are they enough? That's why you'll find in Migori County, you'll find maybe there's one representative, correspondent, one entire county. So tell me, is it capable?
Maybe they're reducing cost of production.
The cost of production and also reduce the cost of credibility. Because these people will also rely
on other people.
So now, if someone from Makalra there, or even Loitoktok, happens to have something has occurred, because news in a Philip's pub, it doesn't rewind.
So you're saying the way these guys are structured, there could also be distortion in what eventually reaches us. Because the way, if I tell you something, most likely if you repeat it to somebody else, you might omit 2 or 3 words.
Yes.
By the time it gets to the 5th person, probably 10 words have been omitted.
Yes.
So it's no longer truth.
Just today's headline, the president said, I will not hand over power to those who don't have agenda. The agenda part of it, they have ignored. What is in the news?
He will not hand over power.
Hand over power. Is that not distortion?
That's distortion.
So
gets us back to the question when we started.
Now come back.
Policies.
Mm-hmm.
Are you working around the clock to have this nipped in the bud? Because when we equally have a space where I've noticed the honest truth, let's equally be honest, because there's also, the media is also used both positively and negatively. You'll get a lot of propagandists in these social corridors, all right? And it trickles down to government of the day. The work of the government is to offer solutions when such challenges emanate, right? We are not seeing enough happening. There's been outcry from different corners. The other day, you see these gentlemen who are already big in the media industry, the likes of Eddie Butita, the likes of Obina. They are putting out their cries out there and saying that they feel the government is just getting money out of them, but doing absolutely nothing towards developing that industry, nothing towards regulating the industry, nothing towards putting structures, nothing towards ensuring that things are happening within the set guidelines. And it's a good thing we have a whole assistant director here with us today. All right, you've mentioned about 2-3 policies coming in. Will that be enough? And if it's not enough, what is still in store for the people of Kenya and the youth in general in terms of how their talents can be managed better and to ensure that they put food to their table?
Government does a lot of things. To mention just a few, it's only that government resources are always limited, and mostly people, when they talk of government doing nothing, they expect money or funding. But even in that conducive environment, is already government is doing something. Government will allow you go and shoot maybe in the street without paying even fee. That's already government is doing something for you. Are you seeing?
Yes.
Government organizing film exhibitions, you come and showcase. That's government doing something. Government licensing the TV station that your songs are played in. Government is doing something. So without government licensing NTV, Citizen, all this media, without denying them license.
Maybe we're expecting much.
Yeah. So the something is being done, but cannot be enough. So that's what I'm saying. Through these policies, that will also bring the participatory aspect. About 2 weeks ago, there was a forum. That was the Creative Economy Forum.
Yes.
Yeah, in Nairobi.
I remember, yeah.
And almost all creative people in this industry were invited. So I think these are some of the initiatives towards bettering the industry. I know changes doesn't come in one day. Even Rome was never built in one day.
Yeah, true.
Even the Israel and Iraq, their war, it is biblical. They have never finished fighting. They're still fighting. They fought those days. They're fighting today. They'll fight tomorrow. So even whatever government is doing, they have done, they're going to do today and even tomorrow. So these policies, they should keep on changing based on the changing on technology. For example, today, the people used to go to theater and cinemas to watch movies and productions. Today, that is also diminishing. Those cinemas used to come in the village. People used to come with cinemas in the village. Today, that is diminishing. Why? Because of technology. I can act, put on YouTube. You can access my content through YouTube. Those days, there were no YouTube.
There's this trend, perhaps I would love to mention, that we've seen a lot of times government departments, things that they do set up, they might start well, but somewhere along the way, they all just go down the drain. Is it lack of commitment or lack of credible people to do these works? You've mentioned cinemas, and I've just remembered there's an issue today with National Theatre, and artists are crying. They're saying whatever is happening there is going to kill the industry, is going to kill the young talents that are coming up. That used to be a place where people would come together or meet and converge and share in their brilliance of creativity. When such kind of things are happening and you're here telling us that the government is doing something, who should we believe?
No, first, I've not got that information. I'm not aware what's happening. So I will go look for that information. What exactly are they crying about? Because cry can be about so many things. So after getting that information, I can respond to that. But there's a question you've asked me. One of the things that affect government projects is always regime change. Regime change affects government policies. What is the priority to this government will not be priority to that government. That's why you'll find each and every government when it comes up with their manifestos, and they do reorganizations based on their manifesto. Just for instance, in the all time history, the film department has been with the Ministry of Information and Communication.
Yes.
But in the President Ruto's government, we are under the creative economy,
which falls under youth and sports.
Yeah, youth and creative economy. So the priorities of each and every government affects.
Just on to this point, it's sad that you've mentioned this. Maybe it's not in your place to answer this, but still in your place, because I want to believe you're a civil servant, and by extension, you can have a thought on this. You've mentioned that different governments will come in and will have different manifestos, meaning somebody comes in and says, the old, I don't know about that one, that has to stop, we are starting afresh. Why is this happening like this? Because I want to believe that the government is already structured, regardless of who will be the president. The government is something which is already here. We have the government departments which is already here. You just need a president to come in to take responsibility. But the structure of having things happen is already here. Don't you think it's wrong to attach government functions and plan to political manifestos, things that will come here and take 2-3 years and move? Because we have governments in place all over. No, we just don't have a government in Kenya. But you'll realize that even in other governments, still under democratic process, the plan, the government's plan, is never interfered with. A case study, maybe a place like, let's say, Britain, a place like maybe China. The government business is not interfered with, regardless who is the president. They'll have the election, people will vote. But when we have a plan, I want to believe in the ministries, you set a plan, you work within the plan. Am I wrong or right?
So to start,
Yes.
civil servants work for the government. They help the government achieve on their manifestos. Government come to power through elections. So by electorates voting for a government, they see these are the policies of this government. They vote the policies of that particular government. So when the government comes into power, it is the role of the civil servant to help that government achieve on their manifestos. And it's the role of the government to restructure the government. It's the role of the president to restructure the government on the best way he thinks that he can achieve his manifesto.
Then don't you think?
No, I'm saying, just hold on. Even in America, when Trump came into power, he abolished Obamacare. That's the best democracy we can use. Obamacare was there in America. It's no longer there. So these policies, they are there to help a government achieve its manifesto. So the first people who help the government change their policies is the electorate. They vote people to change through voting. Like today, you vie for the president, you have your manifestos. The following person has his manifestos. So when we vote you in and not vote the other person in, we are helping you. So that when you come in, you restructure the government. That's why government changes their policies.
I haven't worked in a government before, and I don't know how these things work. You've made me just think. I think that is a shortcoming in my view. Why? We need to have structures whereby, regardless of who is in place, because we have a law which governs us. This law enabled us set up different structures. We have Ministry of Youth and Sports, which will handle this, and this. Then we have Ministry of Finance, which will handle this, and this. We'll have things like Treasury falling under Ministry of Finance. We'll have things like, there's never a vacuum in structures. There's never a vacuum. Things are running. Okay, even when you get the president-elect, there'll be a team that brings in the new CEO to take over so that we have someone that the buck stops with. If you're telling me here that new government will come in, will restructure afresh, then don't you think we will suffer the fate of a rolling stone gathers no moss? And if that is what is happening, don't you think that's a gap, and maybe we should or could do things differently?
First of all, roles of government don't change. What changes is how the government is implementing its roles. For example, function of health services at the county level is a devolved functions. It will never change. It's still functional unless we go to a referendum. But now, the Constitution, in the Schedule 4, and the County Government Act, has displayed the function of the county government. A governor, if I become the governor today, I can decide on which departments I clamps together. I restructure them together to help me achieve my functions. Are you seeing?
I'm getting it.
Like now, President Ruto saw it wise to remove creative economy, to move film from information to youth and creative economy. In his thinking, he saw that film is aiding the creative economy than giving information to the public. Because there's already a communication team, there's already information team, and also film, which is a duplication. If you have communication there, you have information there, then you also have film there. So he saw that let us now use film to help the creative economy grow. That one is restructuring. President Ruto also saw, maybe wise, in the Kitambo, we used to see the PS in charge of interior was the one in charge paka ya polisi, sindio?
Yes.
Today is not the same.
Yes.
Yes. But the functions are still the same functions.
Now, just onto your point, what you've mentioned is important. Now, gets back to what I told you. I said, then why does the working towards growth have to change? Where you'll have and give me, you come back and tell me, or rather give me an explanation that we have not made steps towards growth because the last regime, I don't know why the same. You know, what you've mentioned is of oomph, and it has to stick as it is. In my thinking, with what you've told me, is that in the department of, let's say, a film, all right, there will be a director who will have probably a work plan for 2025, right? And in the work plan for 2025, these are the targets. This is what we must achieve. This is what we must realize. Then maybe they have a roadmap, let's say, a vision 2035, and that is within the department. Don't you think this should be a going concern regardless of who the president is? And when the president comes in, he will know that in this ministry, this was the roadmap which was set. And we are working towards getting this country to this level. Now, the last person in power, yeah, managed to get to 55% of this project or 45% of this project. Why do we have to always new people come in, distort everything? I don't know, come with his own, somebody else again comes back, come with his own. Don't you think that will always keep us make 7 steps ahead, make 2 behind, 7 ahead, 2 behind eventually?
No, let me explain something to you. There's something called sectoral plan. Sectoral plan is a 10-year plan of a sector. And then you have something called strategic plans. These are departmental work plan of 5 years, 5 years period. The challenge that mostly do happen is that they make them not regarding the regime change. If a plan is a 5-year plan, the work plan, the strategic plan is a 5-year plan, and then the annual work plan is a 1-year plan. So whatever you work annually is based on what you plan to do in 5 years. And then the 5 years is based on what is the sector planned to do in 10 years. So I think if it is well planned, the regime change will affect little.
Yes, I thought so.
Will affect very little. But you find the challenge is these processes are delayed. They start in between the katikati, the middle, maybe in 2023 or 2024. So in 2024, if you make a 5-year plan, it will run up to 2028 or 29. So if it runs to 29, it will enter into another regime after election. So we should devise a system where these plans are made 5-year as the law required, and they are made at the right time.
In your portfolio, what's your plan to have this changed?
Yeah, we are already working on reviewing. Currently, I'm still going through the plans, but we are going to streamline our plans based on the policies of the regimes.
And this is this cutting across all government departments, or you just talk for your film department?
No, I talk about my film.
Thank you so much. Your parting shots for the people.
We've talked so much, but little on film. I will also still want more time later to come and now discuss film. Because in the film, in our department, we have got the Kenya Film Academy, where I will want our people to know what it does. Yes, you did mention that is properly set, yes. We have the Film Classification Board in place doing the licensing and regulations. We have the film commissions dealing with the marketing. Then we have now the ministry, the Department of Film Services, DFS, dealing with the overall management of policies and the film in Kenya. So guys, creative economy is good. This is the only sector that you can enter only with your skills. You will need to have skills. Hata kuwa professor, kama kuna skill, you can still enter into this one. You can be self-employed through the creative economy. Today, creative economy is driving the Kenyan economy into big percentage. Big names that you can mention out of politics in terms of the profession, you are going to mention those in the creative economy. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a great insight. We thank you very much, Mr. CJ, and we tell you come back again. We need you to expand more. We need you to educate us more. We need you to encourage the youth more. That indeed the industry of film and creativity is expanding, it's growing, and we're expecting better and good from the government. And with young, vibrant people like you coming into these key portfolios, we want to encourage you that please put your best foot forward, ensure that you do what it takes to grow our people, and we wish you well in your portfolio. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of show. And again, I will tell you, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone and tell someone. The conversation is amazing. The conversation is good. Let's stand up for our country. Let's stand up for our nation. Let's grow together. Let's build together. Let's be the oversight that we require. Let's be the change that you need. As someone once said, if you want change, stand in front of a mirror. Change that person standing in front of you, then the world will be a better place. Mahatma Gandhi puts it, he says, if everyone will wake up every morning and sweep their doors, that should be not Mahatma Gandhi, it should be Mother Teresa, I suppose, and says, the world will be clean. So it takes you, it takes me, it takes your neighbor, it takes your friend, it takes your brother, your sister. Let's be credible, let's be honest. Let's stand for firm, let's stand for truth. And at Tiedero we say, till again we meet, have it easy.